Yes, and we're live. Hello, all, and welcome. And I'm the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So, how you all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. I'm doing all right. So I think the new time for the foreseeable future is 8:30. That seems to work. I said 8 o'clock last time, but 8:30, yeah, seems best. 8:30 p.m. New York City time. So 8:30 in the evening, New York City time. If you don't live in New York, we'll just go on Google and type current time in New York City, see what time it is there, see what time it is where you are, and then, well, extrapolate the correct time in your area. Not too difficult. Don't have to be an Einstein these days to figure that out, of course. You know, the fact that kids these days can't even read a clock. Read a mechanical clock. So, I don't know. Maybe it would be difficult for you to figure out the time in your time zone. But anyway, hope you're all doing good. I'm doing all right. Uploading a lot more content to BitChute, but still having problems. I can see why that platform is having a problem with growing. It's a good platform. I mean, the video quality is pretty good. Most of the to right or center commentators that you like from YouTube are on BitChute, but it's a real bear to upload anything of size. I mean, my shorter videos, it's not such a big deal, but if I try to upload full episodes of my live stream, which are over an hour, it doesn't work very well. I have problems. Sometimes I'll upload a video and then the picture uploading feature won't work. It takes forever. Of course, that could just be because I have, crappy internet connection. I don't know. It's very frustrating. I know there are some multi-uploader software out there. There's some software out there that you can upload to multiple platforms, although I haven't seen any that upload to BitChute. I'll have to do more research, but it's a real pain in the ass. And yes, I know there's a function where you can essentially connect your YouTube account to your BitChute account. And I did that, and it was working rather slowly, though, and it would upload random content from my YouTube account to BitChute, but it would upload it way down on the list. The stuff at the very top, the top piece is the one that you've uploaded most recently, but anything that I uploaded that got automatically uploaded by linking my YouTube to my BitChute, it would appear way down on the list, and it wouldn't notify subscribers that I had a new piece posted, so nobody watched it because nobody knew I posted anything. So that didn't work too well. That didn't work too well, so I'll just have to upload every piece manually. What a pain in the ass. For those of you who think that this is easy, the easy part is making the show, and that's not easy. I have to do a lot of research, find the stories, then comment on the stories, but then the real work begins trying to upload this stuff to multiple platforms and then advertising it and getting asses in the seats when you're someone that would be considered a conservative, which I'm not. Because I'm not a religious dunderhead. I don't believe in a God. And that's fine if you do. That's fine if you do. Not only that, but I'm not totally ineffective, and I don't advocate that people sit on their asses and do nothing. And don't stoop to the level of your enemy who's kicking your ass. So, no, I'm definitely not a conservative. To be conservative these days means that you're totally ineffective and that you're not seeking to accomplish anything, and you're just seeking to not only maintain the status quo, but maintain the status quo as the house is burning down around you. Yet you still do nothing. So, yeah, I definitely don't, in any way, shape, or form, identify as a conservative. But that's fine if you do. And if you do, but you're the type of conservative that actually wants to get something done, then mine is the content to watch. But anybody to the right, is going to be on BitChute because, YouTube is blocking. Like lots of people. It's amazing. This platform has never been profitable. There's mainstream newspapers. Print papers that make more profit. It's crazy. They lose money every motherfucking year, and I think that they just lost like $80 billion. But they're still blocking people. Gee, yeah, we have a real problem making money, so let's block people, right? Let's stop a huge swath of the American population from posting on our platform so that we have a lot less places to post advertisements that make us money. Morons. Yeah, this is what I said before. These people are not in business to make money. YouTube is their propaganda outlet. They use it to ideologically polarize people. It's an indoctrination platform, nothing more. They're not interested in making money. It's owned by the global elites. They're pumping huge amounts of revenue into it to keep it going. It's not about making money. It would be nice if they made money, but you can't possibly make money on a platform that's based on advertising, and you're blocking left and right people who disagree with your political ideology, which is pretty much half or more of the population. You do that, you're not going to make profit. It's that simple. Oh, half the population, we don't want your business. Jesus Christ, of course you're going to lose money. So I'm on BitChute. Go check me out there. The link is in the description. I also am live streaming on DLive. That link is in the description. And I did get a Twitch channel. Twitch TV / The Realist Philosopher. I'll have to get the exact. I don't know if that's the exact address. So I'll check that out and put that in the next live stream. I still have to switch out and put the address. I use a multi-streaming platform. So right now I'm streaming to multiple sites. So if you're wondering why I'm not answering you in chat, it's because I'm in about a dozen chat rooms right now. I'm on a dozen sites. So, I can't really open that many windows, okay? And if I open any, it'll affect my upload, and I'll start to drop frames, and then the overall quality will drop. So if you leave a comment along with a donation, I'll answer it in the next live stream. And yes, I have to ask for donations. This show is only able to operate based upon the goodwill and the essentially the people who are watching the show, the people who are gracious enough to donate. It's not cheap, and thankfully I have some very generous people, but not enough, unfortunately. It's a struggle to keep this show going. So if you'd like to make a donation, visit therealistphilosopher.com /donate. Therealistphilosopher.com /donate. Okay, let's jump into the news after I drink some more coffee. Oh, I need a real boost. I'm a little low right now. These stories will definitely jack me up some. So this is about crazy Maxine. Anybody out there know who Maxine Waters is? She's this crazy, nutty, senile, 80-year-old broad. Looks like her face looks like melting wax. You know those horror movies? What was that horror movie back in the 80s with the wax museum that was really a bunch of dead people who had been dipped in wax, and then they were put out on display in various poses? I don't remember, but in one scene, everything was burning, and the wax was melting, and then their skeletons were revealed. That's what she looks like. Halfway between the process of the wax melting and you seeing the skeleton revealed as the end result. That's her. Melty Wax Face, I had to call her. A little harder to remember, though, than Crazy Maxine. Melty Wax Face. But, Chairman Waters, crazy broad. Crazy, she's out of her mind. Introduces bill to end homelessness in America. Yeah. And this is from a couple months back, but I just found it, read about it now. I guess the mainstream media buried it because it was so embarrassing. She's a lefty that makes lefties look bad. That's pretty bad. I mean, these people have no shame. I mean, oh boy, I don't know if she even makes Ocasio-Cortez look bad. I mean, at least Ocasio-Cortez has her looks to fall back on. She's not a bad-looking broad with makeup, although, on the open sexual marketplace, she's not that attractive. She's just decent looking for a congresswoman, because most of them are dogs, right? Yeah, because any woman worth her salt who was decent looking would find herself a decent looking dude, and she wouldn't need to run for Congress. She'd be staying at home, polishing her shoe collection while her hubby was out working. Ocasio ain't that good looking. And she's dopey to boot. She's very annoying. I don't think any man would want to tolerate her. What is she, a 6 maybe? 7 at best, 6s, 7s with makeup. They don't get rich husbands that take care of them ad infinitum unless they've got sparkling personalities, and there's actually something there that she's a woman of substance. Yeah, if you were 6 or 7, 7, and you've got like the best personality on earth and you work your ass off to make your man happy, maybe you could find somebody that was, decent, made decent bank, but that ain't her. She's a rabid feminist, you can tell. Living alone in her luxury building that she says ain't a luxury building, with its indoor garden, indoor pool, indoor gym. She's walking around on the roof. Also has a garden, nice walking path, chrysanthemum trees, bushes, flowers, whatever, growing. Probably has a fucking Zen rock garden. Oh, but it's not luxury. I'm sitting here by a jacuzzi, drinking wine. But I don't live in luxury. Yeah, right. See, I can't use a fucking garbage disposal. I'm just like you. I know how to use a garbage disposal, bitch. There's a little fucking switch. You flip it. Don't put knives, forks, spoons, or plates in it. A little tiny hole, though. You're not going to get a plate in there unless it breaks. Which is probably what happened. She broke a plate. The piece of plate got stuck down in the fucking garbage disposal, and then she turned it on, and she heard this weird sound as her garbage disposal was being destroyed by the ceramics that she inadvertently got in there. She's afraid to stick her hand in there. Yeah, don't do that when it's on, dummy. All right, so, yeah, Chairman Waters, she might actually be dumber than, I don't know. AOC's pretty dumb. But, look at Maxine. She's been in office how long? 30 years? 300 years? Since the founding of America? It's hard to say how old this broad is. This is great. I love the rhetoric. It just starts with rhetoric. Listen to this bullshit. In the richest country in the world, it's simply unacceptable that we have people living in the streets. So, dummy Maxine already is a moron. She demonstrates her moranacy. That's not a word. But anyway, idiocy. That's better. But she's below idiot. There's a scale of stupidness. Morons below idiot. But anyway. She's a moron! Countries are not rich. People are rich. Okay? Her speech is immediately collectivist. Right? Her speech, her rhetoric, the way that she represents America as a country is in a collectivist way. The country is rich. Yeah, like the country has pockets. Yeah. Like the country has a wallet. The country has a big giant pool with gold in it that it swims around in. It has its own pool, and it swims around itself full of gold like Scrooge McDuck. Yeah. That's an interesting abstract image that also can't exist in reality. But she seems to think it does. Yeah, she seems to think America is some kind of collective entity. And the humans in it are little brain cells running around, and they contribute to the overall wealth of the country. And it's the country that's rich, not the people. Yeah, because if the people are rich, well, then, she's reinforcing the idea of property rights, and communists like her can't handle that. Yeah, it's unacceptable that we have people living in the streets, said Chairwoman Water. Chairwoman? I'm surprised. I'm surprised she uses the term woman. Don't actors and actresses in Hollywood don't even use actress anymore? They just call everybody an actor. Actor Charlie Theron, who also can't find a man. Imagine that, 2 kids, both adopted, no man, never been married, single mommy, 44 years old. Yeah, shocker, she's single. Yeah, I'm an actor. You're a wayman. I'm an actor. I don't use actress anymore. So you've co-opted the term for men. I see. Why didn't Maxine just call herself chairman? Why don't you just call yourself chairman, huh? Today, there are over 500,000 people experiencing homelessness nationwide. Oh, it's more than that. That's way more than 500,000. What are you talking about? Nearly 160,000 of them are children. Oh, well. I guess mommy and daddy should have made better choices. They're going to have to go hungry tonight. I'm so sorry. I made good choices, and if I had kids, they would have food to eat, okay? So it's not my problem. But I didn't have kids, okay? I don't have any kids living on the street. What are you talking to me for? Go talk to the individuals. But I frame the problem as a collective one. It's an American problem. It's a problem for everybody, so I'm talking to you. Yeah, of course. Of course. You want to put your hand in my pocket, that's why. So that's why you want to brand it my problem. Yeah, nearly 160,000 of them are children, and nearly 38,000 are veterans. Yeah, the veterans, they shouldn't be on the street, okay? Yeah, give them somewhere to stay. I got no problem with that. These motherfuckers are fighting for our country. What the fuck are they doing lounging on the streets? Well, I don't know about giving them homes and shit. I mean, I definitely think there should be more services available to helping these people transition back into daily life. Job training of some kind available once you're out of the military. Just something to better guarantee that these people have some way of making a living. Yeah, but 38,000 veterans who have... Like you care about veterans? I want health care for all. Meanwhile, you got people sitting in the VA for a year on a waiting list, waiting to get care. The VA is one of the most poorly run, corrupt institutions out there. You don't care. You don't care about veterans. Come on. Come on. You're one of these Vietnam protesting, hating war, hating soldiers bitches. You just throw in that, we need to help our veterans. Yeah, because that's required of you as a politician. Yeah, we failed to support them after their service to our nation. No, No, you! You failed! You're the one making the decisions, bitch. Don't try to lay it off on me. You're the one stealing my tax dollars and deciding what happens with them, okay? I love it how she loves to, I want to spread the blame around. It's not my fault. Yeah, they always do this, right? Yeah. It's always spread the blame. Whenever somebody makes a bad decision, be it this dopey broad or people in general that are usually socialists, who want to socialize the consequences of their bad actions and pawn them off on others. That's what they do. That's what these people do. Today, Congressman Maxine Waters, chairwoman of the House Financial Services Committee. Good Lord. This dumb broad? No wonder we're so fucked. No wonder we're in such trouble. That this dumb idiot, this subpar IQ moron is making financial decisions for America. No wonder. No wonder things have been so bad. Get her out of there. Introduced H.R. 1856, the Ending Homelessness. If only we could go back to 1856. There was far less homelessness. You know why? Because we didn't subsidize it, you dumb bitch. We didn't have homeless shelters, okay? We didn't have, all this free shit and free goodies and all this being given to the homeless. It wasn't incentivized. Thereby, we had very few homeless. Oh, but we got to help these people become homeless. So I can then pretend to be this big, giant, bleeding heart liberal who wants to help and support the homeless. Yeah. They literally create problems so they can then be seen as heroes or heroines. Can I say heroine? Or all the women now calling themselves heroes too? I'm an actor. I'm a hero, not a heroess or an actress. Yeah, they want to be seen as heroes swooping in and saving the day. Can't actually solve any real problems, though. No, we benefit from the real problems. We're the ones creating the real problems, too. But we want to distract you from those by creating other problems, right? And then focusing on those to distract you and virtue signal our moral superiority. Yeah, okay. Yeah. In Los Angeles County alone, there are over 50,000 people experiencing homelessness. In LA County alone. So what are there, about 100,000 in fucking California? So you're one state out of 50, but you got like 20% of the homelessness. Methinks there might be a problem in California. Perhaps too many Democrats running things, too many Democratic policies that have obviously failed, which is why you have so many homeless. Of course, they haven't really failed because their main goal was to create as many homeless as possible. So in that sense, they've succeeded brilliantly. Nearly 5,000 of these 50,000 are children, and over 3,800 of them are veterans. Why are you telling me this? Yeah, like it's my problem. I somehow failed. Yeah. As chairwoman of the Financial Services Committee, I have made it my top priority. Yeah. Toot your own horn, honey. To focus on this crisis. That is why I have introduced the Ending Homelessness Act of 2019. How are you going to end homelessness? Yeah, of course, their idea of ending homelessness is give everybody a free house, right? Let's just steal more money and then give people shelter. Yeah, don't address the underlying causes. Oh, we can't do that. No, we need homeless people. We need homeless people so we can help homeless people, so that we can distract people from the real problems by focusing on the ginned up problems that we've created to distract them from the real problems and virtue signal, right? Yeah, and create more debt. Yeah, my handlers in the UN, my global elite handlers told me to drive up debt as much as possible. Yeah. So that big interest payment that we owe the Fed at the end of every year just keeps getting bigger. Do any of you out there understand that the federal income tax, it's not spent on anything? That it goes to paying the interest on the national debt? Does anybody out there know that? That the income tax charge for every American, it doesn't get spent on anything except the interest payment on the national debt. So that the Fed can print up money that we could do ourselves and we would have no debt. So why are we having the debt print up this money? Yeah, because we're owned by the global elites. By the way, the Federal Reserve, it's not a bank that's owned by the government. It's not a government institution. It's a private bank, okay? And nobody knows who its founders are. Nobody knows who its shareholders are. Those are all secrets. Of course, we know that the Rothschilds hold the majority of the shares. But anyway, Moving on. Yeah, she wants to spend $13.2 billion. Now, that won't even cover, that'll cover, what do they spend more than that in fucking California, don't they? Yeah, she thinks that's going to solve homelessness in America. I don't think so. Yeah, they want to provide $13.27 billion in new funding over 5 years to federal programs and initiatives to prevent homelessness. Her idea of preventing homelessness is essentially give them houses before they end up on the street. You make them dependent on the government. But how are you going to solve the underlying issues, right? Mental illness, PTSD after serving in the military, poor education. People who have essentially lived their lives being told that they'll never get ahead, they'll never make it because they're black, and the man wants to keep them down. So these people have bought into that, and now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. How are you going to help all these people, okay? Of course, they don't end up on the street. It's just primarily white people. Go check out who's homeless. Go check out who's homeless. It's mostly whitey. Oh, boy. Yeah, but we're privileged, right? Yeah, we're privileged. Mm-hmm. Sure we are. It's time for Congress to step up and provide the resources and funding necessary to address this important issue. Yeah, right. The Ending Homelessness Act of 2019 would appropriate $13 billion. Oh, yeah. Housing programs. See, I called it. Let's just build housing. Let's just give them more homeless shelters, right? Let's just give them homeless shelters and give them 3 hots and a cot a day, because that'll really motivate them, because there's a lot of hardship in getting free food and housing. Oh, yeah. It's not the ideal situation, but Americans are such virtuous creatures that they wouldn't settle for such a poor existence. Oh, no. They would want to claw their way out of that gaping chasm that they're in and find a better quality of life. Yeah, what are you smoking? Are you huffing paint fumes or something? No! There's a lot of people out there that'll be perfectly happy with 3 hots and a cot, even if it's in a big, giant fucking stadium with 1,000 other dudes on cots. They're fine with that. There's a lot of people that are fine with that. There's also a lot of people who are fine with that, but if you took it away from them, they would actually work to get a house, because then they'd have to be sleeping in the fucking gutter out in the rain and getting pneumonia and dying. Take away the free food. Take away the free housing. By the way, which none of it's free. Taxpayers are paying for it. The idea of free, that there's a free lunch. That's a myth. No such thing. Somebody's paying. And it's not these people. Make them pay. Make them pay a price. I want to see him sleeping in the gutter. I want to see him sleeping in ditches. I want to see him prying up manhole covers and going to live in the fucking sewers like the Morlocks and the Eloys. Remember that the time machine? Yeah. He goes ahead like 800,000 years or something, and you've got Morlocks living underground. Was it the Morlocks? And they would only come up to grab an Eloy and eat him. Yeah, make them live underground and become Morlocks. Make them live horrible existences. That's what you need to do. Make them live horrible, austere, fucking disgusting existences, sleeping in rat-infested shit. That's a good motivator. That's a good motivator for having a better quality of life. Not giving them everything for free and saying, well, they'll claw their way out of it if we give them lots of free shit and provide housing and food, because, Americans are such virtuous human beings and they want to exist on a higher plane. No. Pinheads. There's a large majority of the population, well, not a majority, but there's a large percentage, of the population that'll be perfectly happy sleeping on a cot with 300 other dudes belching and farting in their sleep in the same fucking room as them. Lots of people will be perfectly happy with that. Don't tell me that you're not incentivizing people to be lazy sloths who won't pull themselves out of this horrible, degrading situation if you just continue giving them free shit. Nah, they won't. The bill includes the following funding amounts. $5 billion over 5 years to McKinney-Vento homeless assistance grants. Private business. Methinks there's some grafting going on. Methinks somebody is getting some kickbacks. $2.5 billion over 5 years for new special purpose Section 8 housing. Yeah, because that's worked so well, right? Go check out Baltimore. Go check out the slums there. Yeah. They got armed drug dealing guards at the doorway entrances of these Section 8 housing units that have been turned into drug dens. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. Oh, and 300,000 housing vouchers. Oh, boy. Yeah, so 300,000. Oh, my God. So you want to house 300,000. Oh, great. That seems to be the bulk of it. 300,000 housing vouchers? Free housing for 300,000 more people. Wow, that's a brilliant idea. We're going to solve homelessness by giving people houses. Seems like the least efficient way to solve the problem. Wouldn't you want to turn these people into productive members of society? Not give them free fucking houses? What about my free house? Nah, you're too productive. You're the one we're using to steal money from to pay for these sloths. Oh, 1.05 billion annually in mandatory spending dedicated to the National Housing Trust Fund, which in the first 5 years of funding is expected to create 25,000 new units. Affordable to extremely low-income households with a priority for housing the homeless. Why don't you just remove all of the barriers to entry, meaning all of the restrictive regulations that exist in big cities, which is where the majority of homeless congregate to? Then you know what'll happen? Private individuals will build housing and competition will drive down costs. No! We want to become a communist utopia. We can't have private for-profit housing. Oh, God. No, it has to be run, controlled by the government. The government needs to control the ways and means of production in regards to housing. Yeah, good Lord. $500 million over 5 years in outreach funding. Yeah. Needles and shit probably. Give them free needles. That won't incentivize them to use more drugs. I can't find a needle. I can't shoot up. Here you go. Free from the stage. Shoot up all you want. And if you shoot up on the streets, we've even told the cops not to arrest you. Homeless person's paradise. Yeah. $20 million for states and localities to integrate healthcare and housing initiatives, which provide technical assistance to help state and local governments coordinate their healthcare and housing initiatives that are funded by federal programs. Yeah, we want to spend more money to help the homeless get even more in benefits. Woo! Yeah, we want to teach the homeless ever increasing ways to game the system. It's just unbelievable. Wow. Gee, and she's been in Congress 30 years. Imagine that. She's found the perfect formula. Just keep giving away free shit and pandering to low IQ morons and tell them it's not their fault. You'll keep getting reelected. It's crazy. All right, let's move on, shall we? Oh, my God. Maxine. Oh, this story's great. Lovely. Just lovely. 2% of U.S. high school students identify as transgender, even though in the general population they're only 0.4%, and even that's too high. 2%. Of course. Well, you're incentivizing it. Any behavior you incentivize, be it good or bad for you, if you give people rewards, right? If you give them something that in the moment is good for them, guess what? Their behavior will adapt. People adapt their behavior, you idiots. Yeah. Oh, but I'm going to give you lots of free shit. I'm going to give you preferential treatment and lots of pats on the back and treat you better if you do this. What are you going to do? You're going to do it. Which is kind of the point. The Center of Disease Control, the CDC. Yeah, they got nothing better to do? Don't they have a plague to fight? Don't they have a plague that's coming up from the third world? Don't we have the plague returning to America again? Going to have the Black Death soon? Which will further the global elite's depopulation agenda, which will be furthered even more so because, lots of dumb whites ain't taking their vaccines. I'm not getting vaccinated. It causes autism. I'm a moron. You're a moron. It doesn't cause autism. Meanwhile, you got the Mexicanos left and right. Oh, they're taking advantage. They're getting vaccinated, baby. Oh, yeah. That's one area where they're smarter than you, or, the propaganda just hasn't been focused on them because the depopulation agenda is about the white people. So got a lot of dumb whiteys out there not getting their kids vaccinated. Yeah. Bye-bye! Darwinism at work. Your genes will disappear from the gene pool. Probably a good thing. If you're so stupid you believe that anti-vaccination bullshit. So the Center for Disease Control surveyed over 130,000 young people. It's a decent-sized pool of people. More than 1 in 3 trans youth have attempted suicide in the last 12 months. That should tell you that it's probably a bad idea to encourage this transgender nonsense. But oh no, the social deconstructivist morons who believe everything is environmental. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, we need to do something other than discouraging people from becoming trans. The NHS, so just under 2%, 1.8% of high school students in the U.S. identify as transgender. That's the findings of a new survey by the CDC. Okay. That's ridiculously high, actually. In fact, that's higher than how many people are gay. That's like 1% of the population are gay. This is around 2% transgender. Something's not right here. Something's wrong. Somebody is encouraging these people to adopt a transgender identity, okay? Yeah, that would be the teachers, the media, yeah. Jazz Jennings, I am Jazz. Remember that show? Little kid got her cock cut off, got his cock cut off and became a her. Hideous her, by the way, that got real fat after started taking the hormones. I'll admit, the boy who became a girl, but is still a boy, was a decent-looking trans dude, okay? Until he started getting all those hormones and his ass got big and his tits got big and fat and he looks disgusting and now he's got no cock, no identity. I predict suicide before the age of 30. But mommy and daddy cleaned up, yo! Dollar bills, yo! Yeah, they made a lot of money off that TV show. Yeah. But now he's got no cock. Can you put a price on a cock? I think you can. Priceless? I don't know. So the CDC surveyed students across 19 states and large urban school districts. This included Colorado, Delaware, Hawaii, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. We don't need to know them all. Don't need to know them all. Yikes, Karuski. Sorry, allergies. All right. The survey looked at how many youth identify as transgender. It also looked at what risks trans youth were to violence, substance abuse, suicide, and sexual risk. Key findings included 1.8% of students enrolled in the participating 10 states identified as transgender. Further, 1.6% responded, I am not sure if I'm transgender. Oh, great. You postmodernist, cultural Marxist scum are really doing a good job instilling relativism and confusion into the minds of these kids. I don't know what I am. What is a brick? What is a tree? I don't know. It's all relative. Words have no meaning. Life has no meaning. Oh, I'm a nihilist too. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah. Suggesting some will go on to identify as trans. Yeah, that's what you would like. That's what you would like. More useful idiots for your army of useful idiot zombie morons. 34.6% of transgender students had attempted suicide in the past 12 months. This bullshit. More. The suicide rate for these people is way higher than 34.6%, okay? That's like 45%. It's a crazy high number. It's 10% higher than the number they're given here at some point in these people's lives. So, but even at this young age, 34.6%, what's the one common denominator between all these individuals besides being young? And by the way, the suicide rate for people in this age group is not, who are not identifying as transgender, is not 34%. Oh my God, it's like 40 times less. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, what's the one factor that they all share? That they're all trans? No, that's not it. It's bullying. yeah, I'm shit you not. I shit you not. They try to blame it on bullying. Yeah, it's bullied. They're all being bullied. What if I can find a bunch of them that weren't bullied, but they're all still suicidal, the ones that ain't bullied? What do you say then? Internalized something, internalized misandry or something, or they'll come up with some weird word, internalized transphobia. Okay, yeah. This compared against 5.5% of cisgender males. What the fuck is this? I'm cisgender. Why don't you go fuck yourself? I'm straight. I'm not cisgendered. I'm straight. I'm normal. You're not normal. Go fuck yourself with this cisgender bullshit. You want to change language around and create some kind of fucking moniker for me that doesn't apply to me? Cisgender. Fuck you. Straight, bitch. Straight. You cunt. Stop using this regressive fucking language that you try to label as progressive. 9.1% of cisgender females. I hate you people so much. I hate you so much. My mission is to destroy you cunts. I will destroy you if it's the last fucking thing I do. You're going down. Transgender youth were more at risk of substance abuse for all forms of substances. But it's not because of the transgenderism. They's all bullied. Yeah, you don't know that. From cigarettes and alcohol through to prescription opioids, the biggest differences came with cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamines. I bet that's bullying too, right? Oh, everybody that's bullied uses dope. Yeah. Just 1 to 2% of cisgendered youth had tried heroin and methamphetamine compared to approximately 25% of transgender youth for each drug. Could it be the hedonistic lifestyle that children are exposed to at a very young age, and the openness to sex, and the openness to doing whatever makes you feel good at a young age that could possibly be leading to transgenderism and also affects their attitudes towards drug use? Yeah. You know, if I didn't know any better, I would think these people were Satanists. Satanism has the same kind of view on the world. As long as it harms nobody, do what you will. And a lot of Satanists are just like, do whatever you want, whether it harms people or not. Right, yeah. By the way, most Satanists don't believe in an actual Satan. It's just a figurehead and an anthropomorphizing of certain beliefs, ideas, views of the world that these people seem to share. These people seem to be Satanists. Transgender youth were more likely to be victims of violence. Imagine that! They're using drugs and alcohol in excess at a young age, and people at young ages have a hard time controlling their impulses because the parts of the brains that control impulse control areas of the brain are less developed. So introducing booze and alcohol and hedonistic behavior and socially unacceptable behavior, which should be socially unacceptable, by the way, it leads to more violence. Imagine that! Transgender youth were more likely to be victims of violence from online bullying. There's no such thing. What do you mean online bullying? What does that mean? You're ugly! You're fat! You're stupid! That's... I mean, sticks and stones can break my bones, but names can never hurt me. Of course, in today's world of hate speech, that doesn't seem to apply anymore. Online bullying. That's not a real thing. Just like hate speech ain't real. To physical violence and sexual abuse. Yeah, because they're having more sex at younger ages. They've been exposed to sexuality at a younger age. They're more open to it. Yeah, they're more open to having sex. They're having more sex, so they're more likely to be sexually abused. Trans youth were more likely to have had sexual intercourse. And at an earlier age. Yeah, see? You don't think there's a correlation there? No! Of course not. Feelings over facts, bitch! I'm impervious to your logic. I'm impervious to all logic, except my own logic, which ain't logic. Approximately 15% of trans youth said they'd had sex before the age of 13. 13? Had sex before the age of 13. Yeah, there's nothing harmful. There's nothing harmful about introducing kids to gay dudes dancing around with assless chaps on, with their cocks hanging out, swinging their fucking cock around, swinging their ass around, pulling their cheeks apart, showing their asshole to the crowd on Gay Pride Day. There's nothing harmful about kids seeing that, right? And having them dress up in fucking gay outfits, and then introducing them to gay lifestyles, which are primarily focused on sex. There's nothing harmful about that. Oh, no. Mommy, I want to get my cock chopped off. Woo! Yeah, that's not harmful. Compared with 4.5% of cisgender males and 1.5% of cisgender females. Cisgender, fuck you. I'm not using your aggressive language. You kiss my motherfucking ass. I know that you want to control people's thoughts, all right? And thereby, you co up the fucking language and you change the language to control their thoughts. You want to control people. You're not going to control me, bitch. 4.5% of straight males and 1.5% of straight females. Well, gee, that tells me that it's preferable to be straight. Don't tell these people that. Because, they're a bunch of degenerate scum that want to have sex with little kids. Trans youth were also less likely to have used a condom the last time they had sex. You going to associate that to bullying too? Everything trans people are doing is bad. It's just because they got bullied. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not because they're trans. Oh, no. Not all youth were included as some had dropped out of school. Oh, they drop out of school more, too. Great. Oh, but that's not because of transgenderism either. Is there anything bad that happens to these people that's caused by transgenderism? You idiots don't think this is some kind of positive? Really? Even though until very recently it was classified as a mental illness. But then all the fucking idiots, the morons that make up the so-called shrinks and therapists decided we're going to remove it from the DSM-V, the diagnostic manual. Yeah, we're not going to classify it as a mental illness anymore. Yeah. Great idea. Yeah. Great. And being gay is no longer a mental illness either. Yeah, you see the trend here. First, being a homo got removed. Then you've got transgenderism being removed. What's next? Pedophilia? I bet you that's next. I bet you that's next. It's crazy shit. They just keep moving the goalpost, inch by inch by inch. And you keep accepting it. Yeah, you conservatives out there who are seeking to conserve, and you ain't conserved a goddamn thing because the majority of you are controlled opposition. Controlled opposition is when you put people in place to spout talking points that sound good to the people you're trying to target and make ineffectual. Oh, I'm going to complain about the left and pretend I'm a conservative and tell everybody how bad and evil the fucking left is, but I'm not going to tell you any way, shape, or form to counter them. I'm just going to, gin up anger, gin up controversy, and then I'm going to tell you all to turn the other cheek and not stoop to their level. And don't fight fire with fire. Just complain a lot. Just complain about a lot and be a radical individual. Be a radical individual. Be an individual. Don't come together and collectivize, because if white people ever come together in any large group, they suddenly become Nazis and put swastikas on their arms and start killing Jews and cooking them up and using their bones for soap. That happens all the time, don't you know, when white people come together in large groups. So don't ever come together as a white person, in any way, shape, or form, to fight your enemy. Just stay individuated. Just stay separate. Just stay divided and ineffectual. And listen to me complain about the left. And, he's talking about it. He's doing something. He's fighting the good fight, so I don't have to do anything. They're not doing anything. Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, you people are such pinheads to fall for these controlled opposition idiots. Same with Lawrence Southern. They're all controlled opposition to keep you ineffectual. They tell you what you want to hear. They ingratiate themselves into your good graces, and then what happens? They just, get you used to being apathetic and doing nothing. Oh, he's talking about all this stuff. He's raising awareness. Yeah, that's what we need to do, raise awareness. It doesn't do any good. Because such a large percentage of the population has been immunized against facts, and they've been taught to prioritize feelings over critical thinking, that you can raise awareness all you want. All you're doing is preaching to the fucking choir. Meanwhile, doing anything effective that would actually cause change against these radical leftist pinheads in objective reality isn't put forward. Because they're just put there to keep you ineffectual and doing nothing. That's controlled opposition, and that's what a lot of these so-called conservative commentators are. Controlled opposition. All right. So anyway, the survey that questioned over 30,000 students noted that questions exploring high-risk activities among high school students, that some of the risks, there's the same paragraph twice. I lost my space. Okay. They conclude that transgender youth in high school appear to face serious risks for violence, victimization, abuse. Yeah. But why? Why? What's the common factor they all share? Oh, he's bullied. Yeah, confirmation bias, right? You believe what you want to believe. So you seek out evidence that confirms your bias. Oh, it's got to be bullying. They're using drugs because of being bullied. They're having sex at 11 because of bullying. Oh, okay, everything's explained by bullying. Yeah. By the way, the majority of these kids don't face bullying because the majority of their classmates suffer from Trump derangement syndrome and love transgenders. Are you kidding? These kids don't know what bullying is. I know what bullying is, baby. When I was a kid, people got bullied, really bullied. Heads split open, faces cracked open like fucking eggs, like Humpty Dumpty falling off the fucking wall. Throats punched in and they can't breathe. They call the fucking ambulance. I mean, Jesus Christ. The bullying that was going on when I was a kid, that was bullying. You almost would die. Some people died. It was a fucking war when you were a kid, when I was a kid. These bunch of pansies, these pasty-faced little wimps. They don't know what bullying is. They're pasty-faced little wimps sitting at home all day, playing video games on fucking social media. Candy Crush. Yeah, they don't have any experience in actual reality. I look like Powder from the movie Powder. I look like an albino because my face never gets any sun. Bunch of little sheltered pansies. I've been bullied. Somebody said a mean word to me. Yeah, you don't have a clue what bullying is. Bunch of wimps. Oh, but that's the cause of all their woes. Yeah, I don't think so. The CDC's new groundbreaking report. Well, what groundbreaking? All you did was prove they have a much higher rate of suicide, and you're trying to link it to factors outside of their present state. It's not because they're trannies. It's bullying. Yeah. You all need to be more accepting of them and more inclusive. Yeah, right. Fuck off. Yeah, it shows, it's groundbreaking that this study shows that transgender youth exist in much greater numbers than researchers previously estimated. Yeah, because they're being influenced by their libtard hippie parents. They're being influenced by their libtard hippie parents who grew up and were exposed to this cultural Marxist, postmodernist bullshit, this gender politics bullshit, this intersectionality nonsense. So yeah, sure, they want to seem virtuous. Right? It's good. It's good that I turned my kid into a kidette. It's good that I turned my dude into a dudette. It's good if I encourage him to cut his cock off. It's good if I feed him estrogen and hormone blockers and he grows up with a brain the size of a fucking walnut. That's good for him. Yeah. That's because they've been brainwashed, okay? They've been ideologically polarized. They've been programmed. They're programmed NPCs. Yeah. By the way, the percentage of the population that are adults that actually identifies trans is something like 0.4%. So what that means is when they're younger, they're still all confused, and they're essentially being influenced by their parents, and all the lovely goodies they're getting, mostly men, by the way, pretending to be waymen because the women realize, oh, God, it's good being a wayman. So it's like a 10-1, maybe 20-1 even, of boys that want to become women as opposed to women that want to become men. So yeah, it's almost exclusively boys that are identifying as girls. Of course, you don't hear him talk about that, right? No, we don't want to talk about that. Oh, no. And why that's the case? Because, women have it so good and boys have it so bad that they want to get out of that bad. And the real bullying they're facing these boys. You want to talk about being bullied. The real people that are being bullied are boys, and white boys especially. The real bullying is happening there. Oh, we don't want to look at that. Cisgendered scum boys. They deserve it. Because 2 wrongs make a right. They're the most evil people in human history. They've killed so many. Yeah. The Muslims didn't slaughter 100 million fucking black people that they took as slaves, right? No. White people, meanwhile, bought like 300,000 slaves from the Muslims. But we're evil. We ended slavery, but we're the bad guys. Yeah, we ended slavery. Meanwhile, you got slavery still going on in Libya. Muslims are still participating in slavery, but it's Whitey that's evil. Ooh. Yeah, Whitey's evil because he has shit you want to steal. Label him as evil, then you can steal his shit. The Muslims got nothing to steal. They're all a bunch of poor barbarians. Well, I've got my AK-47. That's all you got, right? Oh, yeah, I have nothing else. Well, we don't want to steal from you. We don't want your $5 gun. We don't want your $5 piece of crap, all right? Whitey's got the resources. We don't have the resources. You don't have the resources. We don't have resources, but Whitey has resources, so he's evil, right? You're okay. The friend of my enemy, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yeah. Of course, when Whitey's out of power, who do you think's going to take over? These pansies? Nah, Muslims. The real men that have an actual patriarchy. Yeah. These short-sighted fools. Yeah. The enemy of your enemy being your friend, he's not going to be your friend for long. I tell you that. And he's already not your friend. If you were over there in Saudi Arabia, he'd toss you off a roof. Princess. Oh, boy. All right, let's move on. I don't want to read anymore. This is so stupid. They attribute it all to environment and not in any way, shape, or form to being transgender. It's everybody else's fault, right? That's the way these socialists think. It's very easy to feed these people these kind of self-identifying ideologies because it lays the blame off on everybody else for anything that happens to you. There's nothing bad about being trans. You're not more likely to kill yourself because of being trans. It's because of the evil cisgendered scum that shame you. Yeah, okay. It's very easy to convince these people of these things. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Excuse me. All right. Next story. Luxembourg. And by the way, for those of you just tuning in, I suggest you go follow me on BitChute. BitChute is a great platform. It's similar to YouTube, but it's 100% free speech. It's based on blockchain technology, so, there's no censorship. I mean, unless you're doing something very egregious, right? That would probably still stay up on YouTube for a month. It's a great platform. You'll find the link in the description. Also consider donating at therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's therealistphilosopher.com/donate. This show is only enabled to continue by your generous donations. Okay, so moving on. Luxembourg becomes first country to make, all public transit free. Yeah, of course. I don't like this word free. It's a misnomer. It's not a real thing. There's no such thing as free. Somebody's paying. No, but as long as it's not me, it's free. It's free for you, but it's not free. Luxembourg is set to become the world's first country to make all of its public transportation free. What is it, like 2 miles wide? You can walk across it in 5 hours. Yeah. Do you really need public transit? The newly re-elected Prime Minister Xavier Bettel and the coalition government have announced that they will lift all fares on trains, trams, and buses next summer. Interesting. How are you going to make it? How are you going to pay to continue to make it operate? Don't people have to drive the train? Don't people have to operate the ticket booths? I mean, in their upkeep, in their overhead, how are you going to pay for all this? We're going to steal more money from the taxpayer, you bitch! I see. This ain't a good thing, you know. You're just going to have to pay more taxes. Taking aim at long... this is great. Taking aim at long commutes and the country's carbon footprint. What long commutes? You're a tiny little fucking country. How long a commute could it be? Oh, God forbid anybody have to have a long commute. And the country's carbon footprint. Carbon footprint. They use the global warming bullshit to further centrally plan the government. The world's going to end. Now I heard the number 5 years. I'm looking online. I see some number. The world's going to end in 5 years. Which is it? Ocasio-Cortez says 12. And then she has this plausible deniability bullshit where she says, I didn't really mean 12. I was being hyperbolic to make a point. I meant that if we don't do something in the next 12, the world will end and we won't be able to stop it. I didn't mean the world would actually end in 12 years, even though that's exactly what I said. But I'm a fucking liberal. I'm a liberal pinhead moron, so I know that I'm going to be held to a lower standard than everybody else. And that the mainstream media isn't in any way, shape, or form going to question me or put my feet to the fire. So I'm good. I can say stupid shit. That's okay. But Trump, he got to be called to task. Yeah, as if these two people are in any way the same. Yeah, I love a false equivalency argument comparing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to Trump. He's a multi-billionaire who made his own fortune. She's an idiot fucking bartender. They're very much alike. Yeah, I can see the similarities. Oh, boy. Yeah. So they're taking aim at reducing commutes and carbon footprints, which actually is a good thing because plants love fucking carbon. Yeah, why don't you... it's so stupid, really. The new move hopes to alleviate some of the worst traffic congestion in the world. Yeah. Landlocked by Belgium, Germany, and France, Luxembourg has more than 400,000 commuters traveling in to work from neighboring countries. This year, Luxembourg started offering free transportation to everyone under the age of 20. Secondary school students have also been able to ride free shuttles between school and home. Luxembourg currently has the highest number of cars for its population in the European Union. They have no military. They have a small population. They have a small, homogeneous, white population, very little crime, almost no military at all. They got a lot of extra money. Yes, okay, well, they can afford that. But not forever. Not forever. And it's going to require very high taxes to pay for. As The Guardian reports, The Guardian! Leftist shills, a decision has yet to be taken on what to do about first and second class compartments on trains. Commuters now pay €2 for up to 2 hours of travel. That's not bad. But you know what that means? It's not economically viable or profitable, and the taxpayer is picking up the bill, which covers almost all trips in the small country. Yeah, no shit. It's tiny. The governing coalition said it planned to overhaul tax breaks for commuters. Yeah, no tax breaks for you, because now we got to pay for it somehow. A benefit that has been available based on the distance traveled. Right? If you use our metro system a lot, we'll give you a tax break. Now, we're not going to charge you, but we're going to take away your tax breaks. Because we got to pay for all these tickets. We got to subsidize these free tickets somehow. Beginning in 2020, all tickets will be abolished. Whoa! To save on the collection of fares and the policing of ticket purchases. Oh, that's a good thing then, right? Yeah, less jobs, right? You gotta we'll fire all the people that are policing ticket purchases and collecting fares. I thought you were all about more jobs. No! We want to take the money we're giving to employ people to sell tickets and police ticket purchases, and we're going to keep it to pay for the poor, pathetic losers who are too cheap or too sloth-like to work and make enough money to pay €2 fucking for a 2-hour trip, which is pretty fucking cheap already. I love the entitlement. I love it. Oh, but the EU isn't an experiment in globalism. Oh, no. It's not meant to bring about the global utopia. It's not a central planning shit show. No. Yeah, right. Oh, God. It is a perfect example of central planning. Yeah, this is going to work. Yeah. No money. Charge no money. Totally free. I can't wait to see the taxes that they're going to have to impose on people to pay for this. Great. This would be great. Yeah, people are all happy. You're going to get free travel. Oh, we just added 5% to all taxes. And another 5% for our huge carbon footprint, which isn't an actual problem. But we've blown it up to seem like a real problem to scare the shit out of you and distract you from the actual problems. And also so we can control you and make you fear the world's going to end. And then we're going to take away your agency, take away your power and control over your life, and you're going to give it to us actually because you want security. So you'll give up your freedom. You're a bunch of rubes. You're a bunch of lemmings, you. You follow that fucking flute player right off the fucking cliff. You morons. Pinheads. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on here to the final story. Oh, great. Yeah. Psychology today. Psychology is it's nothing more than another control mechanism, all right? To take vulnerable, mentally ill people and manipulate, control them to follow certain ideological narratives. Nothing more. Psychology is bunk. Not even pseudoscience. Non-science. There was a bunch of studies done recently where researchers tried to essentially replicate the conclusions that psychologists have in regards to human behavior and what certain environmental factors will have effect-wise on people's behavior, on their outcomes as individuals. They were able to replicate the results 30% of the time. You need 100% replicatability to call it a science. I got a better chance flipping a coin and guessing heads or fucking tails than psychology does of getting it right. We are very good at predicting things. How good? 30%. I got a better chance guessing heads or fucking tails. Oh. So by that logic, flipping a coin is science because it has better predictability than psychology. Whoa, no, we're real science, 30% chance. Can somebody out there invent a 3-sided coin? That would give me a 3-sided coin, 2-sided coin, so I could demonstrate to you how much more reliable flipping a 2-sided fucking coin is than psychology. Oh, but people believe in it. I'm gonna go see a shrink. Yeah, don't. You're more likely to kill yourself probably. Come talk to me. I'll help you more than some goddamn shrink. All right, so psychology today. People refusing to date transgenders is dehumanizing. What? But I don't like homos either. What if I refuse to date a homo? Is that dehumanizing too? I don't get it. What? Reasons were still expressed using dehumanizing language. So the people that didn't want to date trannies used language that the writer or somebody else who the writer believes thought was dehumanizing language. So is it the language I'm using to say I don't want to date them that's dehumanizing, or is it the fact that I don't want to date them? Because this guy says refusing to date them is dehumanizing. Really? Okay. Oh, this is great. And by the way, more and more men are actually wanting to date these trannies because women have become such objectionable creatures. I've seen this huge uptick, this huge rise just among some of my viewers, especially in the past, who actually would question me about whether or not it was okay or they wanted to date trannies. I mean, hey, look, whatever floats your boat. All right? Whatever you do in the privacy of your own home, as long as you're not harming anybody else, you're not doing anything immoral, you're not robbing, you're not stealing, you're not raping, it's all consensual. Do whatever you want. Go buck wild. I don't care. But, there seems to be a big rise in this kind of what I consider degenerate behavior. Do what you want. You're allowed to be a degenerate. A degenerate scumbag. No, I'm just kidding. But you're allowed to be a degenerate, just so long as it's not the illegal type of degeneracy, okay? Yeah, like diddling kids and shit. That's unacceptable. But two consenting adults, whatever they want to do, it's fine. I don't care. I still think it's degenerate, but, to each his own. If you're a heterosexual, cisgendered person who only wishes to date cisgendered again. These activists posing as journalists, making their puff piece opinion pieces. I hate this shit. Just say you're an activist. You're not a journalist. Or if you're a heterosexual straight person who only wishes to date straight people, this is redundant. Heterosexual straight, which is what cisgendered means. They just changed the language so that they can control it. That's why they changed language. That's redundant. Heterosexual is straight. Another idiot using redundancies in their fucking writing. You moron, you. Paul Boyce, P-A-U-L, Paul B-O-I-S, Boyce, idiot, moron. You should take some writing lessons, pinhead. If a straight person only wishes to date other straight people of the opposite sex, which is normal, then shame on you. Shame on me? What did I do? I just have a preference. Oh, but they've changed to a Wayman, so it's your job to... Yeah, I love this. It's my job to essentially recognize that that's no longer a man, that it's now a Wayman. So I need to reinforce that idea by being perfectly okay with dating them. Yeah. Okay. Do you still have a cock? Yeah, you got the Tootsie Roll. I'm not interested, okay? If you still got the Tootsie Roll, I'm not interested. Even if you don't have it, I don't want that. But anyway, it's dehumanizing to transgenders and non-binary people, according to a recent article published in Psychology Today. Oh, God. Psychology is not and never has been about helping people. It's always been about controlling them, okay? It's just about controlling them. That's why so often when people go to see a shrink, they talk about their problems, and then they get more upset and they blow their fucking head off. Don't you have friends anymore? No, because we're becoming continually ever more isolated from each other. Don't have any friends, don't have any mates, don't have anybody to talk to, don't have anybody to have meaningful conversations with. No, go see a shrink. Then they fuck you up and make things worse, and then you kill yourself. Ever more people that go to see shrinks, and suicide rates among men especially are at an all-time high. But I thought that psychology and psychiatry were supposed to help people. No, they're just there to push a particular ideological message onto the most vulnerable people, meaning, i.e., those that are most easily manipulated. All right, so the article written by Karen L. Blair and Rhea Ashley Hoskins, of course, two Wayman, in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships. Socialism, anything labeled social is a part of the social sciences, which is nothing more than a construct of the fucking Frankfurt School, which came to America circa 1933, 1934, and set up shop at Columbia University, and then spread their evil tentacles to every fucking university in America, which essentially chastises people as bigots for the sin of being attracted to a man who's an actual man, or a woman who is an actual woman, while also arguing that the prevailing attitude contributes to the psychological harm of transgenderism. Essentially what they're saying is, I have a duty, a responsibility to date you, freako, because now you identify as a Wayman. So I should recognize your self-identification and go along with it. Essentially, play make-believe with you. You have to LARP with me. I'm LARPing as a Wayman. You have to LARP with me. You can identify as whatever you want. A cat, a dog, a tree. Be a cat and a dog. Be a fucking dog and a tree. Piss on yourself. Whatever. I don't care. But do not tell me what I have to do to make you happy, to fit into your delusion. See, the problem I have with this is that this ideology requires positive change and action on the part of others. It's not just about recognizing by not challenging these people, but I actually have to go one step further, and I actually have to take positive actions to feed into their delusion and pretend along with them. And this is saying I have to date them. You have to go even one step further than that. You not only have to use the proper pronouns to address them, but now you gotta fuck them too. But what if I don't want to? Too bad! If you don't want to, you're a bigot! You can't win with these people. You can't win. When first conducting their study, Blair and Hoskins asked close to 1,000 participants. It's not a very large pool of participants, honestly. What kind of partner they preferred, and gave them the following options. Straight woman, straight man, transgender woman, transgender man, a person with a non-binary gender identification. Unsurprisingly, yeah, because most people are evil, bigot scum. 87.5% of those polled said they prefer the first two options. Yeah, because, despite what the fags and freaks of the world would have you believe, most people are normal. Which means there's not enough fags and freaks to go around, so they want more. They need more fags and freaks, yeah, so they can continue their Sodom and Gomorrah hedonistic lifestyles. We're running out of asses to bandit. We need more asses. Yeah, 87% of those polled said they prefer the first two options, depending on which way they swing. Swing. Degenerate scum. So straight men and women, respectively. Non-binary and transgender people were at the bottom. Yeah, bottom of the barrel, that is. And typically they were at the bottom. They were the bottoms. They got no other option. They've cut their own cocks off. They have to be a receiver. They have to be a catcher. They were at the bottom and typically were only chosen by people who identified as bisexual, gay, or some other type of sexuality. Yeah, because they're still men, they're still women, no matter what they do. For heterosexuals, the results were other heterosexuals. Yeah, imagine that. We have a preference for people who are like us. White people, generally speaking, want to be with white people. White men, generally want to be with white women. Yeah. Goddamn that objective reality enforcing its evil rules on us that we think we can change, but we really can't. The authors find this deeply problematic. Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do, ass bandits. Yeah. You want to burgle more butts. So, of course, the more butts available, the better for you. And believe that attitudes need to change. Oh, you believe. Oh, okay, yeah, you're a moral authoritarian who thinks you need to change me to think the way you do. Fuck you! If trans and non-binary people lack access, they got plenty of access, okay, to other people just like them. Believe me, these people are hedonistic scum. They will boff a hole in a fence. They'll boff the holes in the chain link fence. They'll boff a hole in a fucking tree root, okay? They'll boff an apple pie like in that movie American Pie. They're not very discriminating. You got plenty of access, just not to the people you won't. I want the normal people to identify me as normal as well, even though I'm a freak. Yeah. So the trans and non-binary people lack access to one of the most stable sources of social support. You mean normal people? You mean normal people who are stable because they're normal? Yeah, imagine that. This could explain some of the existing health disparities within trans communities. Again, it's somebody else's fault, right? Yeah. We as abnormal individuals do not have access to normal people to help stabilize us. And it's their job and their duty to stabilize us, of course, because we're a bunch of entitled cunts who don't feel it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves and be responsible for our own well-being. No, that's your responsibility, bitch, because you're normal and stable. But there's no difference between us. Everything's equal. Looking more closely at the patterns of responses, it also became clear that individuals were least likely to express an interest in dating trans women, even if their sexual identity would otherwise indicate an interest in women. Yet that's because the majority of trans out there are men pretending, LARPing essentially, as women. Because there's no benefit for a Wayman to become a man. They know they got it good. And these men who become Wayman, they want to have it good too. All right, that's all it is. Men are the actual class oppressed against, who are being oppressed, and these people, these men who are becoming trans, the majority of them just want to have it as good as women do. That's it. It's that simple. They're tired of actually being oppressed, actually being bullied, actually being told that they're evil scum just for their race. We're not racist. You are because you don't want to date a tranny. Yeah, you're the evil one. Not us for shaming and ridiculing and bullying white people, white men especially, and then making them want to become women. It's not us that are evil for pathologizing whiteness and maleness. Yeah, okay. All right, so, yeah, indeed, nearly 20% fewer people indicated an interest in trans women than would have been expected. Expected, yeah, because you have unrealistic expectations based on the la-la land in your mind. The authors also examined participants' responses in a similar study by the Canadian Psychological Association's annual convention, which yielded similar results. Imagine that! A lack of acceptance for freakish behavior is universal. It's just the responses that vary. Here, we say, meh, I don't want to date you. In Saudi Arabia, meh, where's the highest roof? However, the authors blame this on several factors, which were, by the way, outside of being trans. Yeah, dehumanization and prejudice, uncertainty or lack of knowledge, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. Lack of knowledge of what? And issues related to bodies and reproduction. Oh, you mean you can't have kids? You got your cock chopped off? And you're not a real woman? And you don't have ovaries or a uterus? So no babies for you? It's called reality, pinhead. The most common reason for being unwilling to consider dating transgender or non-binary people was that participants felt they lacked information and understanding of what precisely these kinds of identities mean within the context of dating. Gobbledygooks, fucking nonsense. Word salad bullshit. For example, many simply stated that they had never really considered the question before. Yeah, because they're not freaks. So they're trying to translate this not having considered the question into meaning this gobbledygook about the most common reason being that they had lacked information and understanding because they'd never considered it before. And in our mind, if they considered it, that means they'd be more likely to want to bang them. No. That's your confirmation bias conclusion, pinheads. Oh, my God. The authors scold participants for saying transgenders have make-believe identities. I love it. This reminds me, are any of you aware of what LARPing is, where it originally comes from? So there's still people that do this, by the way. People would get together and still do and dress up as wizards and sorcerers. There's a game called Dungeons and Dragons, came out in the late 70s, late 60s, early 70s, was created by a guy named Gary Gygax. Great game, by the way. I had all the fucking modules. I think my parents threw them out. I had all the manuals, the Monster Manual 1, Monster Manual 2. I had all the fucking books. There were all books. There was the God book where you had the stats for all the different gods, Greek gods, Roman gods, and everything, and you could fight them and shit, and you could write modules and all, and go through adventures where you would reach the levels of, like, godhood and be uber powerful, and it all happened in your own imagination. Great fucking game. But anyway, there's people now that do this live action. They'll have like little bean bags and they'll throw them at each other and they'll roll a dice and throw it. Fireball, lightning bolt. It's fucking retarded, by the way. Well, that's all this is. Live action role playing, okay? You're just LARPing as a broad. Yeah, it is make believe. Oh, you could be another gender. You just can't be another race, even though they're both immutable properties. Yeah, Rachel Dolezal can't be black, but a dude can be a dudette. Yeah, okay. The authors scold participants for saying transgenders have make-believe identities or for wanting to date people with whom they have an actual chance of having kids with. That language is dehumanizing? Really? You snowflake motherfuckers! So essentially just having a normal reaction is dehumanizing. See what they're trying to do? They're trying to pejoritize normal reaction and brand them, those normal reactions, as evil, as dehumanizing, so you will then be socially reconditioned to adopt a new mindset and accept the possibility of maybe being with a tranny, and of course, having no kids, and having this freakish, non-traditional relationship, which is what they're really all about because they're just postmodernists. And postmodernism is really just it's a power and control tool, okay? Flip the paradigm. It's a tool for gaining control, all right? That's what postmodernism really is. That's why the cultural Marxists love it so much. But anyway, it's dehumanizing to want to be with a Wayman and to say that you want to be with a Wayman over a man. I'm a straight guy. I prefer a Wayman. Ooh, you evil cisgendered scum, you. I say that their heads are about to explode. A minority of individuals mentioned the desire to only date people with whom they could have biologically related children. Oh, so a minority expressed that is the reason, while the rest said they preferred to be with Wayman because they can have kids with them and because they're attracted to them. Now, these people see what they want to see. Anyhow, the authors conclude that while they cannot mandate who people should and should not date, they stress that transgenders dating heterosexual people should be seen as a sign of progress. There's that word again. I should remind you all that ancient Rome, when it fell, was full of trannies, okay? And these same kind of policies and mindsets and views of the world were being pushed right before the barbarians were allowed in, and they slaughtered everybody and destroyed the city and ushered in the Dark Ages. I should just remind you of that. Do a little research into history. Just as sociologists, communists, have tracked acceptance of interracial relationships as a metric of overall societal acceptance of racial minorities. I also don't agree with that. Don't push on people this idea of dating other races, okay? As being somehow something that makes you virtuous or better than. Future fluctuations in the extent to it. Gobbledygook language, sophistry, more equivocation nonsense. Future fluctuations in the extent to which trans and non-binary individuals are included within the intimate world of dating may help to illuminate progress or lack thereof. What you identify as progress isn't necessarily progress in any objective way. You just label it as progress because you've been told this is progress. With respect to fully including trans and non-binary individuals within our society. Society doesn't exist. It's a made-up word. There's just individuals. There's no society. There's no amorphous blob that is comprised of millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of people, like neurons in a brain, interconnected to make a whole. No, there's just individuals who may or may not come together collectively to accomplish a specific goal, but they're not collectives. This is not the Borg hive mind, you pinheads. So annoying. That, of course, you create these collectives and make everything into a collective and tell everybody that there's a society and we have these collective ideals and collective interests that all tie us together. You can much easier control them. You have a much easier time of controlling them. If you ideologically polarize them along certain lines of identity like race and sex, and then fragment them, which divides them from each other and puts them into these balkanized, polarized groups, they're much easier to control. Much easier to control. Feed them each a specific narrative and then control them via those narratives like puppets on a fucking string. Oh, boy. All right. What a nonsensical story. Yeah. I, as a straight, white, heterosexual male, need to want to bang trannies. And if I don't want to bang them, I'm evil. Say the trannies and the homos who want to burgle my ass. Okay, all right. Yeah. Or want to have their asses burgled by my big white cock. Anyway, I think that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And also, even more importantly, please subscribe to my channel on BitChute because you never know how long I might be on YouTube. Because, they've got that pesky new algorithm that just shadow bans my ass. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why I'm already shadow banned and getting so few followers and views as opposed to BitChute, which is a much smaller platform, but I actually get more views and subscribers there. So that ought to tell you something. That ought to tell you something about the political leanings of YouTube. So if you'd like to really support me, go join BitChute and follow me there. That is the future for people who have the same kind of mindset I do, or a similar mindset, all right? Who actually are red-pilled and want to understand reality better. They're not just existing in some kind of a bubble of their own creation. So if you would like to follow me, do it on BitChute. Go down, click the link, go to BitChute, follow me there. I'm not posting these now, though. These live streams, they're too big, too long. For some reason, I have a hell of a time. It's almost impossible to upload these to BitChute, but I am posting all my smaller videos there. It's a lot, by the way, so it's taking time. So go follow me there. And yeah, you can follow me here. And to keep apprised of all of my content creation, go to my website, therealistphilosopher.com. /contact. Type in your email, send me your email. I'll add you to a list of my followers, and if there's any major changes, I'll send out a mass email to all you guys so you can keep apprised of where I am. And of course, I'm going to keep my website going. So therealistphilosopher.com. You want to donate, therealistphilosopher.com /donate. You can use TipeeStream to make a donation with PayPal. It's totally anonymous. You can make a donation with Subscribestar if you don't like Patreon. And if you don't have a problem with Patreon, I have 2 Patreons. Each is tasked to serve a different purpose. One is per content piece, one is per month. So go check those out if you have an interest in supporting my content. And I'm not a conservative. I'm not a neoconservative. I don't tell you to turn the other cheek, to do nothing. I'm not controlled opposition. Do something. Okay. Fight fire with fire, bitches. Don't sit back idle. Don't be apathetic. Don't sit there eating your fucking Cheetos and watching Wheel of Fortune. Is that show still on? By the way. No! You have to make some positive actions in the world if you want to affect change in line with your beliefs, your viewpoints on how the world should be or is, to fight these leftist scum. So be a force for change, not just a sloth. All right? Anyhow, that's it for today's show. I hope you enjoyed. Again, please like and subscribe to me on BitChute and here on YouTube as well. Follow me on my website, therealistphilosopher.com, and consider donating as well. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.